This is Radio Free Pro Wrestling, your home for smart and stunning wrestling debate with lifelong wrestling fans, Shawn and Ashlee. Let the debate begin.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to this episode of Radio Free Professional Wrestling. Yes, I'm Shawn, and I'm with my tag team partner, Ashlee, who I didn't have a bail out of jail because somebody decided to put a title on a certain person that nobody wanted. Ashlee, what am I talking about?
One of the worst booking decisions I have seen since I've gotten back into wrestling.
And it's so bad that we're going to do a 76 question on this certain person and what we think they did to do this title change for. But first, let's catch you up on a week of wrestling news as we head over to the Control Center.
This is your Radio Free Pro Wrestling Control Center. All the wrestling news you need to know.
Okay, Ashlee, my first news story for you this week. Samantha Irvin on Monday went to her Instagram account to inform the WWE Universe that she is no longer the official ring announcer for Monday Night Raw. We just want to wish Samantha Irvin all the best in her future endeavors. It appears to be her wanting to do more outside ventures besides just being the ring announcer for Monday Night Raw. You can go over to her Instagram account to see the full statement that she had, thanking everybody underneath the sun and the fans.
Yeah, she seemed to have like something in mind or something lined up, so all the best to her.
And if you watched last week's Monday Night Raw, Lily Garcia was there to be the ring announcer for the night. We don't know yet if that's totally things going forward, but it was nice to see Lily Garcia for one night.
Yeah, definitely.
And I can't wait to see what Samantha Irvin does next. I'm going to miss her because I did enjoy her being the ring announcer for Raw. She brought her own style to ring announcing. I know some fans were not the biggest fan of her style, but I got to say, she made the show a little bit better with her presence, and you can definitely go and miss it down the road. So my next news story for you, Ashlee. Sting has signed a Legends type deal with AEW. So we will see Sting probably appear in AEW, but may or may not have a match in the future. I'm just happy that Sting is still going to be associated with All Elite Wrestling.
And still getting paid as he deserves to be.
I mean, dude is making bank everywhere. If you've seen the video where he made the announcement about the deal, he's also flipping houses. I'm like, wait a minute, Sting flips houses and invests in real estate? Okay, cool. This guy is super smart.
I gotta look up the Steve Borden Realty Company.
Okay, so my next news story for you, Ashlee, was first reported by Fightful. And Progress Wrestling and Defy have entered into an agreement with Thriller TV to do their next 7 shows on Thriller TV. So literally tomorrow, you can catch Chapter 172 of Progress Wrestling at 11 a.m. Eastern on Thriller TV.
Yeah, this is a good deal for these companies. It's very cool to see these like more wrestling companies get this like spotlight and this kind of like highlighted with something like Triller.
And the main event, well, I'll take it back. It's probably not the main event. The main event of 172 is probably going to be Luke Jacobs, the Progress World Champion, versus man like Darius, which will be a very dang good match. And it may appear next week on my top 5 matches of the week. But we also have the Defy World Champion, Kenta, versus Cara Noir in a dream match that me and David are thinking about going back and reviewing once this happens.
You might have to. Like, especially like this deal is, like I said, is so good for them. The visibility for them should be way up now.
Exactly. And for Thriller TV Plus, it's like $7.99 a month. And you get like a week free preview. So if you're not already signed up to Thriller TV, do the week preview. Just check out Defy and Progress and see if you like it. Then after that, you can stay with Thriller TV, or you could go to On Demand Plus or Progress On Demand Plus and be a official member of the Progress family and get older show in the back catalog. The back catalog progress is amazing. So my next news story for you, Ashley, comes from NXT. And some people backstage at NXT are not happy with their partner CW, as this past Wednesday night, a few select CW affiliates went to their 10 o'clock news a little early, and they missed the debut of Delta, now going by a new name, who made her debut at the end of last week's episode of NXT.
This is, yeah, I understand why they're upset. I don't know if there's any sort of like overrun agreement, like I don't know how that works out. We see it weekly on most shows anyway. So kind of surprising they didn't make the exception here. Hopefully they can work something out with CW and come to like an understanding or a realization that sometimes, hey, this show is going to go over a little bit, or WWE is going to have to find a way to tighten it up to a straight 2 hours.
Honestly, they've been doing the tight 2 hours, or trying to do the tight 2 hours with SmackDown when it was on Fox. And I was going like, guys, once you get to network, that 10 o'clock is the local news. And for a lot of these networks, like locally, that's where they make their money. And they're going to go to their news no matter what. So you need to get out of there at 9:59. Honestly, I would have saved this debut to this Sunday at Halloween Havoc and be like, oh, look, we got Delta making her debut on the big show. I mean, that's what I would have done.
Truthfully, that makes a lot more sense.
So my next story for you is Ticketmaster is using their dynamic pricing for WrestleMania 41. So don't be surprised if you see some stickers shot if you go over right now to get your WrestleMania tickets very, very early.
Ticketmaster is like already like the scourge of the world. Terrible and just outrageous for them to charge all they do, have the least secure processes that they do, and then to try to like throw things around terms like this dynamic pricing or whatever, like charge what the tickets are worth.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I'm not going to pay a service fee that is more than my freaking tickets. I'm like, no, thank you. Have a great day.
Exactly. I just bought a ticket for Collision a few weeks ago. It was like a $15 service fee on top of the ticket.
So we're going to go to our next news story that was brought to me by you. It was from Post Wrestling, as they were reporting that there's a new lawsuit against the WWE, Vince McMahon, and Lynn McMahon. This stems back to the late 80s, and it's the Ring Boys scandal. And this is like an 82-page court filing in Baltimore County, Maryland. So we got even more legal issues for the former WWE owner.
Yeah, a lot of the claims being that, Vince knew what was happening. He helped facilitate it. So it seems that he will have some more charges in another court date.
And the Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix, they kind of touched this story in, I want to say, like your 3 or 4 episode. It was somewhere in the middle, because I remember them talking about this briefly. So I'm not shocked by this. I mean, I feel like we all know that WWE has basically been a culture of total blind eye to all these situations that happen to people, and they need to be better.
Yes, for sure. Very disturbing. So hopefully everything can get taken care of in court, and at least, if anything, at least these people can get their stories out.
Exactly. So we're going to go to our 76 questions and catch you up on a week in professional wrestling.
Time to ring the bell, as Shawn and Ashlee debate 6 stunning questions from the week of wrestling. All the whys. And what the hell was that?
Okay, Ashley, my first stunning question for you may upset you and Kimmy Sokol, so I do apologize at the beginning of this as we bring my stunning question up here. Once I find it.
Kimmy, please come back and rant on this with me.
Okay, so my first stunning question for you this week. Will Chris Jericho, as your new Ring of Honor World Champion, help Ring of Honor get a TV deal?
I definitely don't think so. my gut instinct is to say no. But I don't know if this is some sort of kind of business decision on maybe coming like a WB telling Tony Khan a little, hey, if you put the belt on somebody like Jericho, maybe we'll consider putting Ring of Honor on television. I hope that's not the case, because this decision truly pissed me off, if I'm being honest.
Well, my first reaction to this was, oh my God, why are we trying to do this again? Because actually, didn't we do this like 2 years ago when we didn't get no TV deal for Ring of Honor?
I was going to say, Ring of Honor still isn't on TV, and Chris Jericho has been the champion. And again, it still doesn't matter if you just put the Ring of Honor title on somebody and then never feature that person on Ring of Honor anyway. So what are we doing here?
Very true, because there's a very funny thing about Ring of Honor. If you've been an Honor Club subscriber, their champions more likely appear on Dynamite or Collision than actual Ring of Honor TV.
Exactly. And there's no promotion for the Ring of Honor shows. It's just, like I said, it's here. Here's the Ring of Honor wrestler, but we're never going to put them on Ring of Honor, so you're never going to want to go follow them there.
I mean, like, we've been debating this for like the last month or so. I kept telling you guys, like,
it's been more than a month.
I know. Literally, your whole time here on Radio Free Professional Wrestling, we've been talking and complaining about Ring of Honor and how this new version of Ring of Honor, to me personally, feels like Tony Khan's version of WWE ECW.
Honestly, there's so many comparisons to like AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, and truthfully, that's what it feels like most of the time. And what sucks is they have so many great talents on that roster that make it an exclusive roster. You don't need to have these people coming over and losing on AEW all the time.
Very true. Or hey, if Tony could time travel back about a year, if he heard CW was looking for some wrestling, why didn't he go over to the CW going like, hey, we got this thing called Ring of Honor, we can make that yours because it's totally independent from AEW. Then you literally build Ring of Honor to look nothing like AEW, and you run it as a separate promotion around the Northeast.
He won't run it as a separate promotion. Everything, even on the Ring of Honor shows lately, they haven't even so much as changed the skirts on the railing outside. They still say AEW.
My thing is, to me, looking at this from like 35,000 feet away from the situation and not knowing Tony Khan personally, it feels like he bought into a wrestling company because he loves Ring of Honor, but he doesn't have the practical knowledge of how to run a promotion, let alone two freaking promotions.
I was going to say, I genuinely just don't think he has the time with everything he does. Baffling decisions lately, but it's football season, so he's running a football team, he's running a soccer team, he's running AEW, he's trying to run ROH. You have so many talented hands that could take the booking over for Ring of Honor and solidify the roster, could get you some stuff going on there. They have nuggets of good things going on in Ring of Honor, but it's not cohesive at all.
Exactly. I mean, really, it's just a bunch of matches they want to throw on just so they have something to put onto the Honor Club service. And, eventually, people are going to get tired of it and they're going to cancel their Honor Club service.
Truthfully, I saw a bunch of people do that after Jericho won the other night. So, I mean, I was like, I don't know if that matters. You're never going to see Jericho on Ring of Honor. It's
You have a better chance of winning the lottery twice than see Chris Jericho on Honor Club.
right. And it sucks because it's what drags down the good things. The Athena stuff has been great since she's been champion. So to drag this down is like a crime. You know? The infantry, I think, have been a very good arc on Ring of Honor lately, and it seems like maybe they're tapping into their dark side. They've been having conversations with Shane Taylor promotions, and it seems like maybe Shane Taylor's trying to sway them to come his way. I would love to see that. I think the infantry have killed it the past few months, but they don't find any solid footing, and then they don't pull the trigger on these guys with the tag team titles a few months back. It's just a baffling decision to not crown a team that really worked for it and then put the belts on a team that didn't exist before the night they won.
Very true. Well, it's been a very interesting week of decisions at All Elite Wrestling, and we'll get back to it in a couple of questions.
Interesting, yeah.
So my second set of questions this week, we're going to WWE, we're going to Monday Night Raw, and I gotta say, I enjoyed Jay Uso versus Braun Breaker up to the point where Solo pushed Jay out of the way. If they would have stopped right there, they would have had me. That was a great story to tell. But no, we got to go one step too far and have the bloodline interfere and cost Jay his Intercontinental title. So my question to you, Ashley, is: did the WWE just rush for this Intercontinental run of main event Jay Uso just to get him back into the freaking bloodline story?
It feels that way.
So
I feel like it's a little bit of a blessing and a curse for Jey Uso, the storyline right now, because I do feel like he outgrew grew it a little bit. Like he got so popular and he was so over, and they didn't really capitalize and pull the trigger. And then when they did, they were like, "No, we got this opening. We gotta get the bloodline back together."
yeah, I was like, it'd be such an interesting story to tell. Like, you go to Friday Night SmackDown last night, and you see Jay talking to Solo, and Solo going like, "Look, I just did one thing that Roman would never do in his life. I took one shot for you. You're still the Intercontinental title holder because of me. I took the spear from Braun. I saved you. Acknowledge me."
Yeah, and it's especially with like still have all this tension with Jay and Roman. Well, I've kind of seen the spoilers and stuff, so I know we're a little bit back on the same page. But you could have drawn this out a little more. Like Jey Uso could have been like, "I'm standing on my own. I'm my own man right now. I won a singles title and I did it without you."
So true. You could literally go to WWE Survivor Series War Games and have the new bloodline have one extra member, 4 versus 3, as Roman only has 3 members on his team. Then Jay comes down and helps the babyface at the end. He's the last person, and he finally picks a side. And he picks either Solos, which he wouldn't do because you want to keep him a babyface. So he takes Roman's side, and voila.
Yeah, and it this way it kind of feels like Jay lost the title, so he kind of went crawling back to his family a little bit. I know they're baby faces, but with the way things ended and the stuff that Roman did to Jay leading up to this, I would have liked to see a little bit longer of a forgiveness process, I guess.
Exactly. It would take me more than one go like, "Bro, I'm proud of you," and fist pump. I'm like Jay said like 1 week ago on Friday night. No yeet. Sorry, you're gonna have to raise this up this a little.
Yeah, for sure. I'm curious as to why they pulled the trigger on this so fast, considering everything with the bloodline has kind of been like a slow burn.
I got a feeling that maybe it's something to do with the Rock schedule, and they need to get this done so the Rock can go do some other things. Maybe that's it. I'm just
Yeah,
speculating. I'm just speculating. We'll see down the road here on Radio Free Professional Wrestling. So let's go to my third Sunday question this week, and we're back to AEW and AEW questionable booking. Would Private Party be better off being split up, or do you see them winning the AEW World titles, tag team titles, this coming Wednesday on the Halloween edition of AEW Dynamite.
Okay. I have thoughts. I want Private Party to win. I don't know if they will. I want them to win. I don't like this stipulation, and I don't like that Private Party willingly offered this up. There was no reason for this. And I don't want to see another AEW original tag team break up, disband, not able to compete any longer before they win the tag team titles. This company prided itself on its tag team division at the beginning, and all of the teams that it built itself upon, they've done nothing significant with.
Exactly. I mean, like SCU. Sorry, SCU is not there no more, and Christopher Daniels and Taz, and like, oops, we didn't do much with that. Well, we had Taz there. Sorry.
Even when they broke them up, they didn't. There was nothing. It was like you didn't do anything with Dark Order. You didn't do anything with Proud and Powerful. You didn't do anything with any combination of best friends. These are all tag teams that were day one OGs that kept this company afloat during the pandemic and have not been rewarded in the slightest, really.
And when it comes to Private Party, Ashley, look at this. They lost at the pay-per-view like 8 days ago. Then they win this trios match. Then they go like, hey, we just beat you. We won their title match. And really, the Young Bucks could have gone like, hey, look, we're EVPs. You won a trios match. So you can face a trios champion for the trios titles. And, spin them off that way.
Right. And I mean, so many tag teams they've just missed the opportunity with.
So now we're faced with Private Party having a rematch on this special edition of Dynamite. And I guess they can feel that the Young Bucks are going to win. And we're going to see Private Party split up. And you add 2 more singles wrestlers to a loaded, crowded singles division in AEW. And next thing you know, both these guys will be on Ring of Honor. We won't see them for like 8 months.
Genuinely, that's another concern. If you do break them up, are either one of them really going to stand out with some of the names in AEW?
No, honestly, no, because they haven't spent any time building this team up before you break them apart.
Right. It does feel a little bit like strange because Private Party was very heavily pushed at the beginning of AEW. They haven't really done much. Not completely their fault, not even completely AEW's fault. Gwen was out with injury for a long time. Stuff like that really derailed what they were doing. But this sudden push, I'm very concerned.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, and I feel like we'll have a very big bidding session next week on Radio Free Professional Wrestling. Keeping with the theme of AEW questionable booking, we'll go to the Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and MJF storyline. Ashley, if I remember right, when Adam Cole made his return to AEW, he's like, I'm going to do this by myself. And I told Roddy, I told Matt and Mike, like, hey, I'm going to do this by myself. And next thing I see is Adam Cole with a freaking kingdom.
Yeah, I don't think they really know where or what they're doing with this as of yet. I feel like they got put in a weird position because obviously I feel like they couldn't wait to bring back MJF before Adam Cole was ready to come back. It felt like they needed MJF to come back. But bringing him back and then Adam Cole coming back as the babyface in this situation is already like a strange decision. I know the fans have kind of made that choice themselves. That's not really, AEW's not really booking him as a babyface. Everyone's just excited he's back. So it's tough and it's a weird shift to make. So I don't know if they're going to pull the Kingdom turns on Adam Cole or something to solidify Adam Cole as a big babyface, but it's going to be a weird one. And we're going through this with some very reliable MJF tactics here with the you got to face so many people before you get to me.
I mean, literally, he made a reference in a promo like, "Hey, this is classic MJF. I was going to do this play out of my playbook." And
Vintage MJF as Michael Cole.
And I'm listening to MJF. I'm going like, I know what the final move is. It's going to be a match between Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. The winner gets MJF.
It's going to be weird. I think either way, we're going to get a good match, but I'm going to have to see how this one plays out. I'm a little lukewarm on this as of late. I'm just excited because Adam Cole is back.
Yeah, he's back. But did you listen to his reaction when he came out on Dynamite this past week? He didn't get that normal loud Adam Cole, baby. It was kind of muted.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I feel like fans may be a little still trying to figure out what's going on. Like we said, we sort of left. This was the main storyline of AEW for a long time, and we've kind of had to 180 what we were doing upon Adam Cole's return.
Honestly, if they could have redone this and if they were able to see the reaction now and go back in time, I'd be like, dude, bring Adam Cole back as a heel, have him with the Undisputed Kingdom, and you find yourself another babyface for Adam Cole to go after Darby Allin.
I know. That's what it feels weird because pushing MJF to come back and take on the heel role again really took the sails, the wind out of the sails of Adam Cole coming back as the big heel. I mean,
It's honestly, AEW is now the land of everybody's a freaking heel or there's some shade of gray.
yeah, there's some weird. I feel like there's going to be some shifts coming up. I'm hoping anyway. Dynamite not being its best this week did at least leave some like storyline things that obviously are going to be threaded in the coming few weeks.
Very good segue by you, Ashley. Let's go on to my next stunning question. And one good thing that came out of AEW Dynamite this week, as we had Queen Amiana versus Camille. And I got to say, that was a fun match. And Camille got the victory over Queen Amiana, but it was everything I would want in the match between the two ladies. And literally, I could see, I would want to watch them have a best of 7 series.
Yeah, this was very good. And I love Queen Aminata. Like I've said it before, push this woman to the moon. Everything. She's got charisma. She's got talent. She's like young. She push her everywhere. And Camille, we haven't seen too much of her in the ring here in AEW yet, but they don't call her the Brick House for nothing.
Well, this brings me to my stunning question. Should Queen Aviana be the one to defeat the CEO and become the new TBS champion? Or are we still going to go down the road with Chris Statler being that person to dethrone the CEO to be the TBS champion?
Personally, I'd love to see it be Aminata. I think Statlander's a very good choice. Love her. But I think her coming off the kind of strange turn still kind of has to get back into the babyface groove, I guess.
You know, I agree with you. I feel like they left a lot of story to get told with the Hathaway and Statlander like partnership. I feel like they were just getting into the groove of being a good unit and being these two really like dick heels. I'm like, I was enjoying Chris Statler's heel run.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Then magically, it's like she stepped in a mirror. Now she's a babyface.
Yeah, and I appreciate them at least acknowledging it before they did it on TV. Like Statlander cut a promo where she was like talking about how she realized, like, oh, I was partnered with Stokely Hathaway. Like I was an idiot, like essentially. But like you said, I still think there was still some money in that partnership. They were very good together.
Exactly. And really, you keep her heel and you have Queen Ayana as the face. Queen Ayana versus Statlander for the right to face CEO Mercedes Moné. Dude, you're throwing away storylines.
Yeah. Give me that, honestly. I think we'll get a Statlander match first, but I think I think Aminata should be the one to win the belt.
Okay, so my personal feeling is we're going down this storyline with Chris Statlander, but I wouldn't be surprised if we lead 2025 without having Queen Aniana at least have a title match, or actually holding one of the two AEW women's titles as we lead 25 and going into 26.
Yeah, and I would definitely love to see it. She's been killing it.
She is many ways to happen. She is exactly what you need in this women's division. Go back, watch the match of her versus Camille. It proves everything we've been saying about Queen Aniana for the last 6 months. So my sixth and final standing question for you. As you suggested to me earlier this week, I should check out Maple Leaf Wrestling, and which I did. Ashley, what do you see as a ceiling for Maple Leaf Professional Wrestling as they just came off of their re-debut and had 2 freaking excellent pay-per-views?
I think it's going to be very high coming off the back of these 2 shows. I thought they were both very good. You had a lot of mixture of like local talent that maybe haven't had such a spotlight before. You have names like Josh Alexander, you had names like Konosuke Takeshita, you had names like Lainey Luck there, Smiley Kylie Ray. So I mean, a great mixture of like just all around talents essentially. I will say there was some production issues, some things like that running through the show. But as I said off air, I am an AEW fan. That's not a deal breaker for me. But overall, the talent was fantastic. And there's no reason that they shouldn't be able to continue, because there's plenty of indie promotions running shows this way and being successful.
Exactly. I mean, outside of the small production issues they had, was any new company
small.
would have, and they're small. It was a great production. They looked like a major company in North America. They had a great crowd. Solid in-ring production. I mean, in-ring wrestling.
There's probably worse production issues on like Dynamite this week, to be honest.
Actually, to be fair, yes, I feel like they are a step above Dynamite, and literally they just done 2 shows, and AEW Dynamite has been around for 5 freaking years. I gotta say, I feel like
them audio issues will never get fixed.
Getting back to Maple Leaf Wrestling, though, I feel like they could be the 3rd big company in North America. I feel like they could be a step above TNA, unless TNA keeps doing this thing with WWE and NXT. I can see them sneaking in here and grabbing some of the TNA audience because they present a solid in-ring product. It feels a lot like TNA, but does enough difference where they can be their own thing.
Yeah, plus this alliance, there's a lot of potential for what they could be doing in the future, and hopefully running with this alliance and doing what they can, that can help them get some footing and continue on.
And you get Don Callis and Morrow as your announce team. Dude, Morrow back calling wrestling was amazing.
What Twilight Zone portal did I step into listening to Don Callis on commentary? I was like, why is this guy going baby faces? What is going on?
Well, if you notice, he was quasi babyface. I mean, he still, when his guys were there, he was talking about his guy, putting his guy over, but also pointing out that, hey, speak about Mike Bailey, he's freaking scary. He's an insane talent, and he's getting Katisha everything he can to do, but Katisha is like the alpha. He's going to win this match because, I mean, I taught him stuff. I thought it was perfect. I mean, like, this would be my announcing going forward for Maple Leafs Pro Wrestling. It's like, I want Don Callis and Mauro to call a lot more wrestling because, dude, that was so fun.
Yeah. No, it was very good. And just bewildering to see Don Callis speaking the way he was.
So that has been your 76 questions here on Radio Free Professional Wrestling. Me and Ashley are heading over to our favorite segment of the week. It's our top 5 matches of the week.
It's Shawn and Ashlee's top 5 matches of the week. As they count down their 5 favourite matches from the past week, did your favourite match make the cut?
And of course, it's always the top 5-ish matches of the week because we normally always break the rule and we're both guilty of it. So allow me to start this week because I will go to my number 5 match this week. And of course, it's Shelton Benjamin versus Sammy Guevara. Another good thing that happened on AEW Dynamite. Dude, just give me Shelton Benjamin versus anybody on that roster. There's no way that can be a bad match. This Sammy Guevara match was just
put
as
him in
good
the
as
C2, Tony Khan.
Take my money now if he's in the C2. Hey, New Japan Pro Wrestling, if you're listening, next year's G1, Shelton Benjamin in the G1.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Ashley, what is your number 5 match of the week?
All right, so I'm going to start off 2 quick shouts. One being the Private Party DG Elite match from Dynamite. The match is really good. You know, you got Daniel Garcia, you got the Bucks, you got Jack Perry and Private Party. It's a good match, but I loved the kind of post-match stuff minus Private Party offering up their tag team life. But the BCC stuff, I'm all in on this. All right, I want to see where it goes. And then very quickly from Ring of Honor, Gates of Agony versus the Infantry. Gates of Agony have looked really good this week. So good tag team that AEW needs to be investing in more. So number 5 was from, we just were talking about it, Maple Leaf Pro. Mike Bailey taking on El Phantasmo. High flying, some of the craziest reversals I've seen in a match. And ELP has been on a streak since the G1.
He is somebody who is quickly rising up the ranks in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and if we don't see him have a singles title heading into 2025, I feel like there's a lot of, I wouldn't say it would be currently bad for New Japan Wrestling not to give him at least some kind of single title in 2025.
Yeah, like we've discussed, like title reign lengths. It doesn't always need to be a long one, but he's more than earned it. His showings since the G1 have just been outstanding, and Mike Bailey was great all weekend, as we'll talk about later.
Well, my number 4 match comes from this thing they call Battle of the Belts. I think you heard of it. They had like 12 of them, and finally they had one good match in the history of this concept. And it's Kyle O'Reilly versus Okada. And of course, how could it not be a great match? It's Kyle O'Reilly versus Okada. And to see Okada's face as he learns that he just luckily won this match, and his eyes look like, oh my God, I could have lost my title. What the hell? This match was so great.
Yes, and a match I was looking forward to. Probably the biggest match I've looked forward to on the Battle of the Belts. It's Battle of the Belts, man. Can't. But yeah, this is on. It's tied for my number 4 as one of my number 4 matches because, man, Kyle O'Reilly. Give me all the Kyle O'Reilly matches. I want so many Kyle O'Reilly singles matches. It's insane.
You know, it's funny. They're keeping him away from the Undisputed Kingdom. I got a feeling maybe he'll join them Wednesday because it's AEW booking.
Honestly, I would like to see some sort of revisitation to that. It felt like that was where we were going, and then we just stopped.
Okay, MJF, if you're listening, one of those 3 people you can throw against Roddy and Adam Cole, Kyle freaking O'Reilly.
Yeah, I want to see KOR versus Roddy again.
So, what was your number 4 match?
Shelton and Sammy. So we kind of talked about it already. Shelton Benjamin, man, this guy's like, what? He's like almost 50, 40 something.
He is 48. He is 2 years older than me. And this dude is a genetic freak. He came out of a lab somewhere.
Sammy Guevara.
I was like, I was thinking like it could possibly be as good as him versus Leo Rush. Then they get started, and oh my word, they were going for better than Leo Rush versus Shelton Benjamin. And this week on Dynamite, we're going to get Shelton Benjamin versus Swerve Strickland. So here we go again. Just wait till next week. We're going to have another Shelton Benjamin match on this list.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if this is where Lashley might debut.
I'm kind of hoping not, because I kind of want to see this be a clean match. And if you debut Lashley here at this week's Dynamite, he'll have to interfere. And dude, I don't want it. I just want a clean match between Swerve and Benjamin.
Yeah, this run has been good already. So I'm looking forward to seeing Swerve back in the ring too after the cage match.
Okay, it's been a busy week of wrestling, and we both have a lot of wrestling this week. So normally a Zack Sabre Jr. match would be higher up on my list, but there's a lot of wrestling this week, and him versus Sonata was a fine professional wrestling match and a fine main event to Royal Quest number 4. And I gotta say, Zack Sabre Jr. as champion going into Wrestle Kingdom season, yes, please, and thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'll talk a little bit about it in a second.
So, Ashley, what is your number 3 match of the week?
So my number 3 is from Dynamite. We talked about it a little bit, so I won't get too much into it. But Queen Aminata versus Camille. Just all the stuff for Queen Aminata. And I want to see Camille in more of this role. I feel like we haven't seen her in enough matches for the bodyguard role, so let's get her in some more matches.
Well, you asked, and this coming up on Wednesday on Dynamite, you're going to get her versus Chris Statlander. So get ready, get your popcorn ready. Now, this match was originally on my list of 5 matches of the week, but I had to remove it because something happened on SmackDown to make me question whether or not it should be inside my top 5. I mean, it's a fine wrestling match. I loved it. It was enough to be in my list originally. But allow me to introduce you to my number 2 match of the week, as we're going to talk about what replaced my match. And it's the Motor Machine Guns versus DIY. They win the number 1 contendership. And literally, the Bloodline comes down, challenges them to the match right there. And with a little help from Jey Uso, the Motor City Machine Guns are your WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions at the moment. And dude, they had 2 hell of matches. They wrestled DIY and the Guerrillas of Destiny on freaking SmackDown. What dimension am I in?
No, good choice. It's good to see Motor City Machine Guns come in and kind of get exactly where they should be right off the bat.
Exactly. They're a top level tag team. They don't need to go through a series of matches. Their 3rd match, they get the belts. Perfectly fine because they're the Motor City Machine Guns. And we're in a world where the WWE now acknowledges everything in the world of professional wrestling. So Ashley, what is your number 2 match of the week?
All right. So we were just talking about it. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Sonata. I think I like Sonata more than I see a lot on social media, but I enjoyed everything leading up to this, and Zack Sabre Jr. continues to blow my mind with the submissions that he puts people into without killing them. I'm so happy that Zack Sabre Jr. is finally the champion, and I think Sonata was kind of a perfect first opponent for him.
Exactly. It's somebody who's credible enough that you think, oh, he can beat Zack Sabre Jr. on any given night. And like you, I do like Sonata. I feel like he's a fine professional wrestler, and really, he doesn't deserve all the disrespect that he gets sometimes.
True.
So, truly, it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. It sent me home happy from Royal Quest number 4. I was perfectly happy to see that match. My number 1 match of the week, I feel like we're going to have the same one because I feel like we both enjoyed Speedball Mike Bailey versus Katesha. And if Katesha must have saw who we were thinking would be the number 1 wrestler for 2024, and he went, guys, my name is Tatesha, and you haven't mentioned me yet. Allow me to do 2 back-to-back freaking matches. And this one is Speedball Mike Bailey versus Tatesha. Dude, if you haven't seen this, this is worth buying both nights of Beverly Pro Wrestling, and you can literally buy the first night to watch this match.
Yeah, my number one as well. Mike Bailey just absolutely went out there and killed it this weekend. And the rocket that needs to be put on Konosuke Takeshita's back needs to be the biggest one we've ever seen. He's outstanding, and everything he does in the ring is so fluid. For as big as he is, it's crazy to be that athletically gifted.
I wanted to see Shelton Benjamin versus Tatesha ASAP.
Yeah, yes, Tony Khan. Tony Khan. Paging Tony Khan.
Because literally, Tatesha has had a string of freaking dang good matches. He won that triple threat with him and Will Ospreay and Ricochet. Flipped it around to these 2 matches where he wrestled Speedball Mike Bailey and Josh Alexander on back nights. And literally, I watched those 2 matches back to back, and I had to sit there for like 30 minutes trying to figure out which one did I like better. And I went with the Mike Speedball match because I feel like it had a lot of more crazy finishes and near falls where they got me, and I was going like, dang, that should have been the finish. No, it's not. They kick it out. It's like fun times. You need to go see that one.
Yeah, definitely.
So that has been mine and Ashley's top 5 matches here on Radio Free Professional Wrestling this week. And we do have one more topic to talk about this week. And I'm going to throw out a little disclaimer here that if you're with your kids at the moment, I would suggest you fast forward about 5 minutes because we got to talk about something that is really crazy that happened that Ashley brought up to me this week. And it happened to be at Beyond Wrestling. And Drew Gallat was wrestling Monster Samovich, and after the match, he cut a promo. And this promo is the most distasteful and disrespectful promo that I have ever seen in my life. And he literally okay, so if you don't know, Drew Gallat was released from the WWE because he was accused of touching the drawstrings on Ronald Wrestler's sweatpants, and he denied it. So in this promo, he's looking at Slamovich and going, did you ever feel like I was a threat to you? And she goes, no. He's literally undoing Me Too, the Speak Out movement, in a promo for a freaking angle.
Yeah, this is a very terrible choice. I don't know what Beyond Wrestling was thinking. There's plenty of things to get heat on. I don't think sexual assault allegations are those things.
Because at the end of it, he says, after Slamovich says no, he goes like, you should. And he literally kicks her and turns heel on Slamovich and attacks her. I'm going like, are you freaking deaf and colorblind? Because this is so freaking stupid.
Yeah, and a lot of people seem to be kind of in that boat and upset with the decision. Like I said, there's plenty of reasons to have heat in wrestling. This is not the kind of real life heat stuff you want to draw into the ring.
This is like go to hell away heat. This is like me never coming back to your promotion heat. This is me like saying, I will never watch another Beyond Wrestling show because, dude, you allowed this in your promotion. Literally, if I was a promoter and he cut that promo, I would dare him to sue me if I could try to force me to pay him because I wouldn't pay him. I would tell him, get the hell away from my company.
Truly, with all the stuff going on right now, like we just talked earlier about like more event allegations coming out and stuff like that, I don't know why you would think this is the route to go.
I was speechless when you sent me the video and I sat there and watched it the first time. I literally had to go back and watch it again because I'm like, did he really say what he said? And I'm like, yeah. And I was going like, dude, why would you do this in this promotion? Now, granted, hopefully they learned their lesson. They'll never book him again. Me personally, I feel like this could really destroy a promotion if they don't come out and say, we F up, we're sorry, we need to do better, this is what we're going to do going forward.
Yeah, I think they do have to. I haven't seen any like acknowledgement or, anybody from the company say anything about it. So it's one of those things that the longer I think you stay silent on it, it's only going to get worse.
Exactly. I mean, like, this is something that you cannot bury your head in the sand and think, we'll let the firestorm go down and we'll come back. I'm like, no. You crossed this bridge. You did this. You need to own it.
Yeah. And like I said, just a crazy, baffling decision for a promotion that does a lot of like good stuff. They have a lot of good talents come through. They put together a lot of good talents. This is not something that they needed to do. This is not the kind of attention you want to bring to yourselves.
Exactly. We are going to end our show this week. Ashlee, where can we find you on the Super Information Superhighway?
My main socials are my Twitter, which is at groovy_ash_, and Blue Sky, which is at groovyash.bsky.social.
And of course, you can always follow this show on Twitter at Radio Free PW. You can always follow me on Twitter at RPW Shawn. And until we see you next time on Radio Free Professional Wrestling, have a stunning week. Remember, this is our groovy and stunning era. Gun freaking up.